Mr. Portnoy, Mr. Barstool, Mr. Boston Man, Mr. I want to look for great pizza and rate them higher than they should be rated. He needs to learn how to stop attacking people. Nobody cares from New York what Portnoy has to say. Me being one of them. I don't follow his social media. I don't follow anything that he has when it comes to posting things on social media because I don't care what he has to say. It's not sporty. There's nothing about his network on Sirius Sports Radio that I have any acknowledgement to even listen to. Okay? I have nothing against him as a man. I think he's a brilliant man that knows how to make money. He really does. And his videos, what everybody says about him, I don't watch him. They think he's funny. And he brought social media and really podcasting to a different level when it comes to radio. But his radio station stinks. And what he has to say to New Yorkers or New York owners, no New Yorker gives a crap what he has to say. Stay in your own domain. I don't care if you have a headquarters here worth about $15 or $14 million in Manhattan. I don't give a crap. Stay away from the owners of New York sports because to you, you don't give a crap as long as you're in the tabloids and you're making money. So that's all I've got to say about Mr. Portnoy, who is a big SOB. But I do want to get into some baseball conversation and going into the New York Mets and going into free agency. A lot of people said with a new owner and new ownership and money that the Mets are going to make moves. They're going to open up their pockets. They're going to finally make trades that make sense for this team to grow and soon to be a championship competitive team. As you heard Uncle Stevie coming out and say that it's a 3 to 5 year span where he believes that this team can win multiple championships. So making the move for Francisco Lindor or Carrasco was a big move for them. And then everybody was talking about Springer, bringing Springer to the team where they missed out on because they didn't want to pay him $150 million for a 5-year, 6-year deal. And you look at now the story coming out with Steven Matz, trading Steven Matz this week, opening up a spot in their pitching staff, in their rotation for a.k.a. Trevor Bauer, which a lot of people, a lot of Met fans didn't want because Trevor Bauer is a guy that's going to want a significant amount of money. And the Mets right now, of what we've seen and what we've heard, are interested in making an offer for a 2-year contract worth about $50 million. Now, I know, Josh, you're a Met fan, and I know you don't, in arguments, you didn't want Trevor Bauer. But wouldn't you look at this rotation to be even more impressive if you add Trevor Bauer than a guy like Steven Matz?
I mean, you would think that you might want to tell your buddy over there to your right to realize that too, because clearly he has an argument with me till 1:00 in the morning about why Steven Matz should have been given another opportunity, which I'm tired of Steven Matz being given opportunities. The guy has been inconsistent and injury prone for the last 4 or 5 years since he's been here. And I live in the area that, look, right now, when I have kids, my kids would go to
Ward Melville.
They were Ward Melville. And that's where Steven Matz, he put money into that baseball field. Mm-hmm. So I know how big he is over here where I am.
He's going to go play with his buddy. He's going to go play with his buddy, Kay, over there.
He's going to go play with Anthony Kay in Toronto. Listen, the guy was 0-5 last year with an ERA over 6. I mean, it was the last 5 years he's been inconsistent. He's, like I said, an injury-prone guy. He's just somebody that can't stay healthy. And the Mets got a couple of players back for him. Look, they got more pitching depth. I mean, what did you want them to do? I mean, they got the guy Lucchesi. I can't. How do you say his name? Lucchesi. Lucchesi. Hey, Lucchesi. Yeah. Saw you on the corner the other day, huh? Saw him the other day. That was my Italian.
Oh,
very
that was
horrible
great.
at it. Well, it was horrible. I know you're going to play a sound bit in a second. But,
loser.
There you go. See, there it is, right on cue. They got him from San Diego. And, look, in regards to Bauer, people have to stop with the Steve Cohen nonsense really quick with the whole Twitter thing. Okay, he deleted his Twitter. Okay, I love it. Like, my brother is texting me, this is so consequential for the New York Mets. I said, in any sort of what way is this consequential for the New York Mets? This has nothing to do with the Mets. Oh, I thought the culture was going to be changed here and we wouldn't have these problems. Somebody was attacking him. What did you want him to do? Stand around and do nothing? Look, I'll tell you right now. I got into a Twitter feud with Michael Kay this week. All right, Michael Kay and I went.
What
back
a great
and forth.
argument that probably was.
Let me tell you something. Michael Kay. He argued with me. What do you think? I was just gonna stand around, and all of Michael Kay's army of little trolls that watch his show from 3 to 7 because they don't have full-time jobs decided to go after me, and I defended myself at
Little
every
J, baby.
which way. So I don't care. Okay. So Steve Cohen You know why Steve Cohen deleted his Twitter? Because somebody in his inner circle probably told him, said, "Look, Steve, this is not worth your time. Okay, there's gonna be 1 billion people that go after you from Portnoy. Enough. This is ridiculous." Meanwhile, he's got this guy KFC Barstool that is defending Cohen, who works for Portnoy. So it's like, to the point of this does not affect the New York Mets because I'll tell you this right now. If the New York Mets sign Trevor Bauer, I bet you the story goes away in 2 or 3 days. I bet you that happens. Things happen. Like, it's so funny. Like, the Jared Porter stuff happened, right, a week ago. And now we're talking about Trevor Bauer possibly going to the Mets. And it's like the Jared Porter stuff.
Do you notice that we haven't spoken any we didn't argue, we haven't spoken any bit on this Porter situation? Because to me, there's nothing to talk about. There really isn't. I think that the organization was smart. They got rid of him. As soon as the story came out, they completely disposed of him, and they're moving on with Sandy Alderson and the management that they have right now in place. So I think there's nothing to talk about with Jared Porter. He's gone. Moving on with the New York Mets. I do believe that the Mets are put in a very close and very good position where they could get somebody like a Trevor Bauer on a short contract, maybe a 2 or 3 year contract. I don't know if Bauer's going to take it, but if the Mets are going to offer him more for each season for 3 years, maybe he gets 35 million a year and he gets a 3-year.
They won't get to 35. They'd be crazy to give him that.
Why?
That's too much money for him.
I think that right now, whichever
30 is fair.
Trevor Bauer right now is a consistent pitcher, never is hurt, plays almost every single start. And the only thing that you hope with Trevor Bauer is if he does sign with the New York Mets, he stays away from Twitter. That's the only thing you'll hope for, because he's another Harden, he's another Durant, he's another Kyrie Irving, guys that love to get on Twitter and open their mouths and say stupid things and throws himself under the bus, especially in the New York market. It will not work here with Trevor Bauer. If he starts to lose, he's not pitching well. You know, the ownership is not only is the ownership going to attack him, or the executives and the Mets organization are going to attack him, but I know a lot of people say, well, why would the organization attack their own players? Until Uncle Stevie and that executive bunch of who, Sandy Alderson and them, because Sandy was over there, and Sandy would go up and talk to the press and tell the press everything that's going on, behind the lines. And if Sandy Alderson did it then, why wouldn't he do it now with a guy like Steve Cohen? I think he will. And I think he could throw players like that under the bus, like a Trevor Bauer. And Trevor Bauer, if he hears that from the GM, he's going to throw the ball out to the bullpen.
Out to center field again.
I mean, seriously.
I mean, look, it's just funny because all these Met fans that are going on Twitter saying, "Oh, Cohen needs to sell the team. This would never happen." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Oh, really?" So if the Wilpons were still here, you'd be happy? No. If A-Rod bought the team, you'd be ecstatic?
No, he wouldn't open up his pockets.
He would be in the news every week, A-Rod. It wouldn't even matter. Like, if this...
Look at him. He's itching his head.
If this team wins a World Series, I just give you the example of my brother.
There he goes.
This is a bad look for him. This is a bad look for Cohen. This is a bad... And I go to... I said to my brother, I said, dude, shut up. If the Mets win the World Series, you're not even going to remember that this happened.
I am, because I'm not a Met fan.
I'm just saying, no. If the Mets win the World Series, all the Met fans, I will not attend another Met game again until Stevie Cohen sells the team. Good. Peace out, home slice.
Well, hold on one second. Because he lost $700 million for lending.
Because he's in a scandal where he tried to help his friend out from being crushed in the market, one of his former proteges, and he tried to help him out. Now he's being pointed at as the bad guy with the stock market stuff.
Who cares?
That's happening so to all those
that
Met
has
fans,
nothing to do with baseball.
Thank you. And to all those Met fans that don't want to go to a Met game anymore, Deuces. See you later.
First of all, that's never going to happen. And any Met fan that's going to take shots at their new owner who has opened up his pockets, he's willing to pay Francisco Lindor $300 million that's coming out, that they're probably going to give him that offer before season starts. I mean, why would any Met fan be upset that if he decides to help a friend out to get him out of trouble for $700 million? Listen, if he wants to give me $1 million, I'd be very happy. I'd be a security guard, man. I'll throw my body in front of a bullet for him.
I mean, the whole thing is this, Arrow. It's the fact that they were trying to screw the little people over, right? Guys like you and me that would put money into the stock market, with GameStop and AMC, they were all gaining money. So this app, Robinhood, was locked down and selling people shares. They weren't letting people back in, blah, blah, blah. If anybody's going to get in trouble, it's Robinhood, by the way. They're so screwed, it's nobody's business. But the point is this.
That sucks. I have my accounts on Robinhood.
You better get that money up, pal. But I tell you this. He was trying to help a friend out. And look, is it shady? 100%. Is it a bad move on him to get into an argument with David Portnoy? Absolutely, because you don't. The thing of it is this.
You should have helped him. You're talking to Michael K. Help Uncle Stevie out.
No. Guys like that, you don't get the fights with because it's not.
Now that I know I might have to attack him, I'm never on Twitter. I got 1,500 fans that follow me, and I'm never on Twitter.
I don't know how you have that many fans.
I'm going to attack Portnoy. I'm going to attack Portnoy.
Are any of them like robots?
No,
like fake,
no
like,
bots
like
whatsoever.
Or something
No, go look at the fans. Go look at my following on Twitter. Not one of them are a bot. Not one of them.
I just like I even heard.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is kind of wacky, but I even heard I was listening to.
I'm a popular person, man.
I was listening to Boomer and Gio, and Boomer Esiason says on his show, I won't attend a Met game until he has something to say about this whole thing and see how. Don't come to a game then, Bow.
Who? Boomer said that?
Yep.
Good for him.
And you know what I said? I said, if the Mets win the World Series, I don't want to hear a word.
And 5 years from now, you're going to hear that Boomer Esiason made about $500 million on that friggin' deal. Okay, seriously. And this guy's opening his mouth.
My brother's in finance, man. This is all shady stuff. All these guys do this. What did you think? Cohen had the biggest
hedge fund.
I think one of the biggest scandals in the hedge fund that he had.
Mm-hmm.
And the Met fans were still praising for him to come to the Mets. So what is the difference between now and then? I don't get it.
Well, you know what? We've seen it all. This past year and a half has been a horror, not only in the stock market, but in the world. And now we have hedge fund people making and losing billions and billions of dollars, and people that are middle-class people making millions and millions of dollars. So figure that one out.
Bro, the money that he lost in this thing that he gave to his friend, that's the money he gives to a barista as a tip at Starbucks.